Tobacco control, as you well know, continues to be a pressing and important public health issue. Despite decades of effort, there are still more than 4.5 million tobacco users in this country. And in 2015, 115,000 Canadians became daily smokers. Tobacco is a deadly product, and it kills approximately 37,000 Canadians every year from tobacco-related illness. That works out to one person every 14 minutes. And in fact, half of daily smokers in this country will die prematurely of an illness related to their tobacco consumption. So I'm sure you will agree, Honourable Senators, that this is unacceptable and a pressing public health challenge for us. That is why our government is taking action which aims to drive down tobacco use in Canada from 15% in 2015, and our goal is to drive that down to 5% or less than 5% by the year 2035. As you know as well, the tobacco control landscape is changing, and the prevalence of a number of products, including in particular vaping products, and their use is growing rapidly. These are less harmful than tobacco products, and they have the potential to bring about public health benefits if they reduce tobacco-related death and disease. However, they also have the potential to bring about harms if they entice youth and non-users of tobacco to develop a nicotine addiction or to lead to tobacco use. Mesdames et messieurs les sénateurs, il est essentiel.
Honourable Senators, it is imperative that we do all we can to prevent Canadians from becoming addicted to a product that kills 1 in 2 long-term users.
Firsthand the effects of tobacco consumption, I also saw how challenging it can be for people to quit smoking. We need to help tobacco users stop, and we need to discourage potential users from taking up smoking. Canadians expect the government to take action and to reduce the number of Canadians who smoke. Pour y arriver, nous devons réussir.
To do so, we need to address several issues.
To quit, we need to find ways to reduce the harm nicotine addiction has on their health and the burden that that has ultimately on society. As well, we need to think about new technologies and products and how they will affect the future of tobacco use in Canada and how we intend to control it. C'est pour cette raison que nous sommes ici aujourd'hui. Bill S5 responds to the recommendations made by the House of Commons Standing Committee on Health on its report Vaping toward a regulatory framework for e-cigarettes, which received all-party support. Dans cette optique, le projet de loi
In this light, Bill S5 aims to strike a balance between, on the one hand, protecting youth from inducement to nicotine addiction and tobacco use, while allowing adult smokers to legally access vaping products as a less harmful alternative to tobacco.
Point, Honourable Senators, I would like to address some of the feedback that this committee has received to date. Over the past few meetings, I know that you have heard from a number of witnesses about vaping products. Some of the witnesses, I understand, have been critical of Bill S5 because they want to promote vaping products as reduced risk products. Bill S5 does not prohibit the publication of legitimate scientific work in regard to vaping products, nor does it prohibit people from explaining the relative risk of vaping products as long as it does not promote a particular product or brand. Bill S5 promotion restrictions apply to commercial promotion directed at consumers. Nevertheless, Health Canada has heard these concerns, and we are open to discussing how the relative risk of vaping products might be conveyed to consumers in the context of commercial promotion in a way that is not detrimental to public health. However, let me be clear, Honourable Senators, the evidence we have today indicates that while it is true that vaping products are less harmful than cigarettes, They are still harmful. They pose harms to the health of Canadians, and this should be of concern to all of us. That is why Bill S5 would make vaping products legally available to adults only over the age of 18 and ensure that they are not marketed as a glamorized inducement to nicotine addiction and tobacco use for young people. Studies show that the use of vaping products containing nicotine is particularly harmful for young people. It can result in an increased likelihood of nicotine addiction and adverse consequences for brain development. These youth, sadly, may not fully recognize the lifelong implications of this choice. Also, the marketing of these products around the world includes a broad array of flavors such as candy and chocolate, which may make them particularly appealing to youth. We have seen marketing including packaging and product design using cartoon characters, for example. These appear to be specifically designed to attract our most vulnerable citizens, our youth. This is not acceptable and will no longer be allowed under Bill S5. En adoptant cette loi, le Canada suit.
With this legislation, Canada would join the ranks of approximately 60 countries that have already specifically regulated vaping products. These international approaches range from minimal regulation to full bans.
States Food and Drug Administration recently finalized its approach to treat vaping products like tobacco products, while the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons in the United Kingdom has recommended that vaping products be promoted to smokers as a substitute for smoking. Despite these differences, many jurisdictions, including the European Union and the United States, share our government's objectives of protecting youth from the dangers of nicotine addiction while allowing adult smokers to access vaping products. Another important component of Bill S5 is that it supports our government in implementing plain packaging of tobacco products. Independent studies from multiple countries have shown that plain packaging requirements, including the removal of logos, textures, and brand images, reduce the appeal of tobacco packages and the products they contain, particularly to youth. Tobacco packaging is one of the few remaining channels available to the tobacco industry for the promotion of their products. I think we can all agree that tobacco companies should not be able to use packaging to make a product that causes such devastating, indisputable, and well-documented health impacts seem appealing. Le 31 mai 2016, soit la...
On May 31st, 2016, World No Tobacco Day, my department launched public consultations on the implementation of plain packaging of tobacco products.
The document was open for comments from Canadians for 90 days, and Health Canada received an impressive 58,000 responses, the overwhelming majority of which were in favor of plain packaging of tobacco products. These comments will be used to develop a regulatory proposal on which we will also do further public consultation. In conclusion, Honourable Senators, I would like to reiterate that Bill S5 is a balanced piece of legislation that is aimed at protecting youth from inducement to nicotine addiction and tobacco use while allowing adults to legally access vaping products as a less harmful alternative to tobacco and supporting the government's efforts to implement plain packaging of tobacco products. Je vous remercie encore une fois de m'avoir donné.
I'd like to thank you again for the opportunity to speak about Bill S5. My officials and I would be pleased to respond to any questions you may have.